BS Zelda no Densetsu, or BS The Legend of Zelda, is a partially lost BSX game for the Satellaview, an add-on to the Super Famicom, which was only released in Japan. It was developed and published by Nintendo and distributed by Saint Giga, a defunct radio network in Japan. It is a variation of the original The Legend of Zelda for the NES/Famicom. BSX games were special games broadcast over the radio to Super Famicom systems with a Satellaview expansion attached and a subscription to the Saint Giga radio service. Games would be broadcast in weekly or daily episodes, usually 4. As new episodes were added, more and more of the game became available. These games were not permanent and would be erased at the end of the broadcast period to make space for new games. Additionally, SoundLink games could only be played at set hours due to real-time narration being used. This makes the games impossible to obtain, as new broadcasts are not being sent out. The service shut down in March of 2000, way after the Famicom was discontinued in the 90s. The gameplay of BS Zelda no Densetsu is identical to the original Legend of Zelda. The game is an action-adventure game, puzzle game, and has some elements of role-playing games. The player controls the protagonist as they adventure throughout the overworld, fighting through dungeons, collecting shards of Triforce, and ultimately fighting the final boss, Ganon, and rescuing Princess Zelda. While having identical gameplay, there are several differences existing between these two games. For one thing, the graphics are 16-bit, because this is on the Super NES. You also play as the Hero of Light, and it's based on an avatar character from your Satellaview account system. If you choose a male avatar, your character will wear a white backwards baseball cap. If you choose a female avatar, they will have a pink ponytail. Both characters wear Link's signature green tunic. The old man from the beginning cave also narrates your journey. The dungeons are in a completely different layout from the original, forming the word Saint Giga, an arrow and a skull. The plot also differs from The Legend of Zelda and takes place years after A Link to the Past, the third game in the franchise. The biggest deviation, however, is the time system. At certain hours of gameplay, characters would get power-ups or become stronger in some way. The player would also have only 1 hour every week to complete 2 dungeons. Due to being a SoundLink game, BS Zelda no Densetsu could only be played from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Originally broadcast from August 6, 1995 to August 7, 1995. And was reran from September 3, 1995 until January 4, 1997. The only known ROM dump of the game comes from the 3rd week and is thus incomplete. However, by using videos of gameplay from the broadcast period, fans have been able to recreate the final week of the game, sans the time and narration element.